Yeah, so that band ABBA also, like, incidentally reminds me of my childhood back in the 70s, because when I was a little kid, yeah, my machine experiences began at an early childhood, you know. I mean, of course, I didn't know about photocopiers until I was 8 years of age, or 7, but, you know, I had a whole lot of other machines that I used to enjoy. As I said, my father bought a lot of good stuff. He was the one that inspired me, because Dad was into electronics and that. I don't understand my father, because he was into fixing things, and he's sort of become a bit like a neurotypical. I'm a bit scratching my head wondering, what is he? You know, because he liked all that stuff. He worked in telecommunications. He was good at what he did. Anyway, enough of that. But basically, he brought a lot of good stuff into my childhood. So one of the things he brought was you know, the old Rank Arena TV. Also, he did visit his old telephone exchange. He worked for, you know, what was called OTC. Well, he was back in the Postmaster General days. Became, I think, OTC, and then it became Telstra, or something like that. He'd been in the game for like 40 years or something, but he was a technician, and I used to admire what he did, you know, electronics and fixing things and all that stuff. And he bought an old Rank Arena TV, like colour TV, when colour TVs were new in Australia. I was 75, and I watched so much good stuff on that TV, and I remember it was like, I learned more on that TV than I did in a classroom. Beautiful memories, you know, the old telephone exchange. You know, the 70s were like different, you know, there wasn't all this commercialised stuff. You know, my father could just get on a push bike. We lived in Queensland, in Cairns, and we sort of, yeah, he kind of used to commute to work in a suburb called Edge Hill, I think. And I have memories of the old telephone exchange. It was like 1978, or I was only 5, and I remember, you know, I could remember all the, it's sort of like very ghostly sort of memories, but it was a beautiful building, and it used to hurt me to remember those things, you know, when I myself was having problems with this existential stuff, you know, but it was beautiful. It's beautiful stuff now, and, you know, memories of, I don't know, I remember I don't know what the relays or wires or something, but, you know, the way they look, it was before we had the internet, of course. And it's so beautiful, you know, for some reason, this is the way I think. And then, of course, one of the other memories I had of the telephone exchange was, we walked in there, and I was introduced to a telex machine, and I was given, I typed my name on the telex machine, and like punch card strips, I remember, I think. Really primitive, it's so beautiful, you know, like, and remember, you know, that's the thing, I've got Asperger's, but I'm also learning disabled, so I've got a real childlike sort of aesthetic to my mind. And the machines sort of bring up the childlikeness in my mind. They don't alienate me, I feel sort of connected to them, but the photocopier is my primary connection tool, but the other machines were like transitionals, and they always have a part in, you know, they're all linked. And it's so beautiful, you know, Luigi, I'd love to talk to you about this very personally. And basically that was it. And then, of course, there were other memories, like Dad also had a really good phonograph LP collection of classical music. Really wasn't common, really, it's funny. And, you know, I liked classical music, and I still am learning to reconnect with it, because it's very beautiful stuff. And then other memories include Dad also, he also had a reel-to-reel tape player. So I was quite a switched-on little child, and he actually got his little finger, and I pushed the buttons for him. Like, I didn't want to touch it. I think it was because maybe I was nervous about it, because I used to get nervous encountering new stuff like that. And my father, you know, I used to push the button, and with his finger, I guess maybe it was because I was nervous about touching it. You know, it was so wonderful, but maybe it was because I also didn't want to break it. And I was, and other things included the radio. You know, I listened to the radio, and I also was fiddling around with the radio and on the AM band. And my dad didn't like pop music. The thing was, I was just tuning it as a 5-year-old, and I tuned into a pop music station. Dad says, turn that off, it's junk music. That's the thing, I can remember things quite well with my long-term memory, hard drive. Short-term memory is not too good, but I remember things in little chips, little video chips in my mind. It's so beautiful. And yeah, Luigi and others, so geeks. Sorry, I'm not a people person. But yeah, I'm still very human, very warm. You know, Luigi Benedict. Oh. Anyway, so basically the other thing we had the what else did we have? Radio, and then there was so they were basically, you know, another one we loved. I got my first torch when I was a kid, you know, little torch. I used to, you know, there was a sign that I was basically wasting batteries, because everything I touch seems to overload, or it seems to go, like, I overload things, or, you know, overload people, overload, my desktop will need a defrag. So I feel like everything's just too slow, it doesn't move fast enough. Like, I find it annoying the way when you're tubing a video up, it doesn't go fast enough. Like, if we nerdy geeks had control over the internet, we'd ensure, I reckon, a full, like, the amount of speed we'd give this internet, we'd really tube up a video that would take like 10 minutes to tube up would probably take 1 minute to tube up, you know, that's how we are, you know. And that would make the customers happy, you know, people would be happy, you know, to see their family videos go up faster instead of feel like drinking a thick shake through a tiny straw or soup. It's annoying, you know, it's really annoying, but anyway, so they're just some of these little memories in the 1970s. So sweet, you know. And torch, you know, I always associated torch with the innocence of childhood. And now I've got, as you know, seen it, I've been flashing it around. Now we've gone from an incandescent torch running on those silly, I think that we kept getting given the red batteries, the Energizer, because batteries, batteries, and this is like, well, yeah, let's get a torch. I kept wasting the batteries, and Dad had to keep replacing them damn batteries. So yeah, I was fascinated with light sources, and it's so beautiful. You know, it's childlike, and this is how Aspies work. You know, it's so beautiful. You know, I mean, the thing is, we can be human, it's just that you can't unplug us. You know, you can't pull us from the machine world, but we still desire to combine that with having a relationship with one person. You know, with one person, we're not socialites, as in multiple people. We might be able to do it to a lesser extent amongst our own crowd, I don't know. Never been in that zone. But I'll tell you one thing, Luigi and I, we're different, you know, like, we both like photocopiers and we love other equipment and that, but the thing is, we're very warm-blooded, we're very warm and very desiring. The thing that we missed out on when we got star-crossed was that we both still haven't actually had any use for contact. Like, both of us are still socially, well, we never connected. Like, when we missed out on our relationship, again, due to neurotypical foulness. Again, we don't want to accuse them, we want to forgive all these people that stuffed out our lives, because holding on to grudges is not good. But it still hurts to think that we could have had a beautiful relationship when we were in our 20s and now we're 40s, and, you know, and he was exactly what I desired, I was exactly what he desired. He was watching me photocopy and just go, you know, he reckoned it's like he knew I was the expert on being a copy configuration artist. And the thing is, we've never actually had a really good conversation like most Aspies, and I'll tell you one thing, I look forward so much to seeing that man. He's just so beautiful, so endearing. And the thing is, just to break a myth with Aspies, right, or people with Asperger's syndrome, again, we've got to take that tag off when we feel that we've got a job and our identities. But basically, I do have very strong feelings for him, sexual desires. You know, I'm in love. You know, love is a beautiful thing, and I have learnt this, and this proves that Asperger's, or people with Asperger's syndrome, can love and they can have empathy. They can have desires. They do have feelings. Because there's one thing, you know, because we are one-on-one people, and that means that we're compatible for marriage. That means that we're very suitable. And we're very loyal types. We don't tend to be promiscuous or want to break a relationship. And we're also very touchy and feel like the pair of us have never had any positive relationships. Now, the thing is, we're not experts on talking, and we don't really want to talk. We want to do things, and we belong in R&D labs just making things and programming or building things. But the thing is, the beautiful thing is, with also another thing to note is that one thing I look forward to when I get to marry Luigi is the sensation of touch, you know, to communicate, not even through close range speech, or certainly not doing it this way. He watches my YouTube videos, and for some reason we've not connected, so, and he's decided to make me the public face of this photocopier thing. But basically, maybe he's trying to test my love for him and for the cause. You know, he's trying to see just how much he wants to push it. You know, prove it to you, prove it to me, prove it to you. He's very obsessed with copiers, mate. Oh, dang. Anyway, so basically, there's one thing we look forward to and we haven't actually done is we've never had conversations that are really good. Also, another thing to note is that we really look forward to just having sex. We look forward to just being human, as in we take our clothes off and we feel what it's like to touch, you know, to get intimate, you know, to get very warm, to feel the skin on skin, and, you know, running your hands over each other's faces with such beauty and such tenderness. You know, like, you just imagine this is his hand trying to reassure me. You know, he's saying, I love you, I love you. So this is really my hand, but I can always just make believe that it's him, you know, like, he can just do this. Like, just imagine it's him, like, gently fondling my face. Such tenderness, you know, and you get to my lips, and, you know, and then I love doing that. You know, if you look at my photocopy works, you'll often see my lips are all over the place, my tongue's going, ah. Well, sometimes I have this desire when I'm in bed and I'm feeling lonely, or I'm feeling like a child, or I'm feeling either warm or I'm feeling lonely and cold, and I just got this desire just to do this, you know, with my hand, like I'm kissing, like I'm showing the beautiful intimacy, desire, you know, like to kiss and to express emotions through doing this to his body, or to his, you know. And it's beautiful, you know, so I've learnt this, you know. The thing is, we can learn to be empathetic, but the thing is, if we keep getting bullied and teased and ignored and hated and denied access to work, well, it's pretty destructive. And the only thing I can say is, if you're a neurotypical watching this, is just to put your face in the frame, you know, just to say, how would it feel without, you know, I don't want to be accusing, and I've said some pretty nasty things on my vlogs before, I must confess. I don't like to pull any punches on that, so to speak, but basically, it's like anyone, it's very degrading, it's very hurtful, and if you're a Christian, and of course, they have also a heap on their head. Many of them have, because they love to do things that's right, and they're very spiritual people, and they're also connected to their machines, right? But if the church will often say, will usually say, you know, you're too obsessed with your machines, you've got to pull yourself away, and that's actually caused them to become fearful of the essential issue called hell. And that's another thing. So they've got nothing to live for, but they want to live because they're scared of death. So we've got depression on a grand scale. So basically, if you're a neurotypical, how would you feel about everything going on? You lost your job, your friends, your hope, your dreams, and you're fearing death at all corners, and you're isolated, and you've got nothing to live for. I've got to truncate here, but But that's a question to ask. Just ask yourself how it feels for you. Put your face in the frame.